I'm Zeffie Davy, and this is my channel on YouTube. And with me is Susan Mare. That we've both been off the air for a while because we had interesting thing happens for the past year for us, for both of us. As I told you previous, my mother died, and it was a crazy time for me at traveling a lot. But Susan just got married. She moved to France, and she's really connected to her divine equal. And it's hard work, but we'll talk about this. She came on in my YouTube last week, and she posted some things because she picked up a tarot card that it connected to that before me speaking about it. But she also has been working on this concept for a little while. So, Susan, we're ready to hear what you feel and what was the card that you picked so we can start our beautiful conversation to our viewers.
It started with I was doing an Akashic clearing for a woman, and just this energy was coming through before I connected to do the reading for her. And it was very much about not just the masculine, feminine, but when they combine the wisdom that occurs. So she wasn't necessarily in a masculine relationship, but she was with a particular deity. And with that combining, you get wisdom. And the card that's so perfect for that is the caduceus.
Wow. Mm-hmm.
See the combining of a red and a green energy, or masculine, feminine, the white and the red, however you want to perceive that. And it's quite telling that this is the symbol, or has been the symbol, for the doctor, for the healer, for the wise one. Because if you're just twining with one of those energies, you don't get the full impact as if you're doing the two. And it's also very representative of the Kundalini energy. So this is the card that I pulled for that particular woman. Um, but it's for me, it's so much more than just a masculine, feminine, male, female relationship. It's the energies of my intuition. I'm dreaming this, I'm envisioning this, but if I can't make it happen unless I have the masculine Mars energy to make it happen. So even within yourself, if you have a dream and you're very intuitive and you can make it so imaginative and flavorful, you can't make it happen if you don't have that masculine energy as well. So there's so much going on with the masculine feminine energies right now.
You're absolutely right. I teach a meditation specific on that, how to blend those two snakes together, because it's very famous in ancient Greece from the healers and Hippocrates, and that's the symbol of all the pharmacies that we have around here, and all the doctors wear it. But what they normally show, it's one snake, but the two snakes is the key, because if you don't blend the masculine and the feminine as they're going up, there's no way that can happen. Please do not, I just want to do a little warning. Please do not try to do a Kundalini rising by yourself, because of my experience in the Hindu tradition, it's a very difficult thing to do. If you want to do it, do with the practice of someone, because they need to be experienced, of how to rise the Kundalini. And the reason I'm doing this warning, Susan, is because now everybody's advertising Kundalini, let's awake a Kundalini, and if they hear us talking, they're just going to use that card that you used and do it. But that's not the way. It takes a lot of practice to rise it. It takes a lot of meditation, and your body needs to be ready, because you can actually burn out. That's a little warning here. So if you do need a meditation to do that, find someone, or you can call me or write me, and I'll do a little practice with you. But it's so important, though. Let's get back into our thing. It's so important for us, though, to understand that the masculine and feminine lies within us. Are you correct with that? Are you
No, and
agreeing?
many years ago, when I was very tapped into source and just an amazing time in my life, I also saw those two serpents and the caduceus, but at the top they made a heart.
Yes.
which was so amazing. So if you can think of that, that together they do bring the heart, but they also bring this tremendous amount of wisdom.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, you just cannot do working one aspect. I did recently get married, and I gotta say that being in a relationship for me is the hardest work I've ever done. I would much rather go to a sound healing, I could go to anything than trying to do this hard work. Yeah, it is not for the faint of heart. I'd much rather be dancing and drumming and doing all sorts of lovely things that don't push me and pull me the way a relationship does. And sometimes you will find that with your internal struggle as well.
yeah, yeah,
It is not for the faint of heart. You have to be really prepared it is the dark and the light, the shadow and the conscious. So, and I think these are the times we have to be grounded. We can't just be light and airy. This is the time for the spiritual warrior, and you cannot be a warrior if you are not grounded.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Because either way, you work with yourself or you work with a partner, it's hard work, and your partner also has to be able to agree with you to do the work. So it's not we cannot push them to do it. We need to allow them to flow the way we flow. And yes, I was recent in a relationship too, but if the other side was not flowing, then what you need to do is just look at yourself and then continue the work. And
You, sorry.
no, go ahead.
You recently posted something, I think it was on Instagram,
Hmm.
about a woman creates the castle, or in the Vedic astrology. If you want to talk about that, that was so beautiful how the woman creates the castle that the man can then reside within.
Well, in the Vedic tradition, not just in Vedic astrology, but in the Vedic tradition, they believe that the woman is the one who gives birth to the world, not just to a baby. We are the creation. So the man needs to understand that creation in a very, how do I say, in a very respected way, because when they come inside that creation, inside the castle that I posted, what happens is they need to just rest in that creation, in that safety of the castle and that protection, because we create that for them, like we create protection for our babies, when we bring them into life. But we going into this world, and I think a lot of the males have not practiced that. Now, the ones we know, they haven't practiced to surrender in that gentle way, which is our arms of the mother. And it's very interesting you mentioned that, because this weekend we're having an interesting change of, how do you say, astrology happens. The masculine is going into the, Jupiter is going into Cancer, which is the feminine. Okay, the strong masculine is going into the Cancer, which is the mother. And we need to learn and understand that when that combination happens, that is the divine masculine and feminine. And the male, and like I said, I have a lot of respect for them, and because they're going through such a hard time. But we as women, we need to continue creating this incredible safety place for them to come in. But if they resist it, there's nothing we can do. We got to move on, to the next level, because we cannot keep trying and trying and trying, because we also lose ourselves in it. You know what I'm saying? So we need to know when to give up, when we need to know when we need to step back and say, I done enough, I gave enough, but now let me take care of me, because then we cannot create anymore.
Well, and Cancer and the crab, there's that tendency to retreat.
Yes.
And I do feel so much for the masculine right now. And women, when you are stepping into these relationships, just know that there's this soft underside belly that has not been exposed because they've been raised to be strong, to be this, to not show your emotions, and to hold that is the real work. Can you hold that? Can you hold that and still be yourself?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And for the men, can they step out of this thing they created around them, this protection, this false ego they have? Can they step out and say, you know, I surrender. No matter what is happening to me, no matter how hard I'm fighting outside, I'm coming into your temple. And that's the key of the woman's body is coming, men understanding their body is the temple, and our, you know, our creative energy is our actually our altar, you know, our yoni. So can they come and really, really settle into that? But that's difficult still, but I think it's happening. And women needs to know when to say yes and when to say no, and also create her own boundaries, what she's able to do, you know. But I think for me, the divine masculine and feminine is two energies walking the same way, but not like this, but walking it like this, each one being strong and individual. And when they come together is this incredible fire that builds up. And then they receive the nectar, as we say in the Vedas. Because that's what spiritual energy is about, is the nectar of the gods. That when they do this energy of the Kundalini and the practice together, even 5-minute meditation, correct? What happens, this beautiful nectar comes in and their life just explodes in this really beautiful, peaceful way. It doesn't need a lot, you know, but it just takes consistency, I think.
And I want to reinforce again, you don't have to be with a partner. This can be a very internal meditation and aligning your masculine, your feminine, your intuitive, and your action.
Yeah.
Because if all you are is action, 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 and you don't dream what it is you want to put in action, where does it go? And if you're dreaming and imagining the reality you want to create, but it has no forward momentum, where does it go?
You're absolutely right. I just finished a retreat in Romania, and it was about the divine feminine and masculine. And we were in this beautiful place that have what's called the growing rocks. They're beautiful rocks that grow and that develop other rocks, like baby rocks, okay? And they're round and they're beautiful. And they need the sun, correct? They need the sun and the rain, which the rock is the feminine and the masculine is the sun. So really, you just need the energy. And I said to them exactly what you just said, that where this energy will go. How can you dream this energy? How can you collect this energy first and then dream about it? Because we have to collect it. We have to bring it into our bodies because we are so spread out all over the places in humanity right now with fears and trying to live and survival. We're not gathering our energy. And as women, we need to gather our energy and then go to the next level. And, you know, I actually taught a meditation on that, and I might put it on YouTube for people to have it because it was so powerful. And the women there, they just left glowing out of this 3-day retreat, you know, that we had. So yes, it's about gathering our energy and then where do we take it?
Yeah, it would be lovely if you did put that meditation, because I think these are such chaotic times that I'm sure when we first started doing the energy of the week, we had no idea the intensity that was coming.
Yes.
Uh,
Yes.
and so not only is the 3D, the 4D, the 5D, everything is just so chaotic that how do you hold yourself in the center of this?
Yes. Yes.
Not alone working on masculine and feminine, but just holding yourself, keeping your head above water right now is so I want to just appreciate and honor everyone who is doing their best to hold their vibration. That really is the best we can do right now, is hold our vibration and try to make it even more electric and even more magnetic. and even more combined and intertwined.
I agree with you. It's very difficult times, very difficult times. And, you know, who knew when, you're right, when we started this Energy of the Week in Sedona? I don't know how many years ago. I have to look. It's like at least 7 years now.
More, I don't know. It's a long time ago. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a long time ago that we'd be here. But you know, 2012, I knew the world is going to change. We all knew it somehow, not because of the calendar. We felt it in Sedona. We knew 2012 is going to be a big shift, and we knew the world is not going to be the way we knew it. And here we are, 10 years later, or you know, more than 10 years later. But things take time, you know. Also, our vibration, as you said, as long as we rise the vibration, the world's rising with us. And then we get supported. This is the key that we need to understand. And I do congratulate everybody that, you know, and I feel for everybody that's going through difficult times also. So, you know, it's very hard. And now, as me and you being the wise women of Sedona and spreading our wings outside of Sedona, and we're in Europe right for right now, uh, I would say what this experience did to you, you know, leaving that safety net that we had in Sedona, you know?
It was, it certainly was a bubble.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't have to worry about, you know, masculine and feminine. We we went, like you said earlier, to sound healings to work on ourselves, and it was so easy. And then every day we had a meditation going, and every day there would be a dance somewhere or a spiritual
Yeah.
speaker come in or whatever. We were in this beautiful bubble, but now we are called to step out and really, really help everyone that comes in our way, not just by us doing our sessions, but also with our vibration. Because,
Yeah.
you know, we can walk into the room and just our energy helps others just a little bit. That's not egotistical. It's just the energy, correct?
Well, I certainly thought as I aged, I wouldn't have to do this work anymore.
Yeah. Really?
I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. And in these later years to find that it's the hardest work I've ever had to do, I just want to revert to my inner child and say, it's not fair.
But you know, it's never
I,
too late.
yeah, it caught me off guard, and it was very much a surprise that I would have to be doing such internal, external work at this age. But I am doing it so that I can be an elder. I can be a wise person. I have just put on my website that I'm now open to do mentorship.
Hmm.
And I say that with a great deal of humility because I understand what a vulnerable soul feels like.
You know, and
Be able to hold someone while they're going through this.
yeah, and we talked about a lot about that, you know, that when we're ready, as because the wise people, the wise women and the wise men is the ones that done the work. We have experienced everything, so we can mentor others and we can help others, you know, and that's so important. We haven't done the quickie, and I'm not judging the new age in a sense because we were new age at one point. You know,
Yeah,
we started that way, and but we here through experience to help others, and I'm glad you did that on your website. So
yeah.
I like to, if you can just say your website, I will put it underneath also on the YouTube channel. But if you can say your website to the people and how they can reach you, that would be amazing.
My specialty is Akashic clearings. I've been doing that for 25 years at least. My website is Akashic Clearings with the s.com. And I also offer rune readings, and I may get into tarot as well. That's a lifelong study for me, so I'm always doing that as well, and some other card readings. So for me, it was, there's such a thing called a precipitous birth, which
Hmm.
from 3 hours from your first contraction to the birth of the baby. It's very fast, it's very furious, it's very intense. And some people that are awakening to consciousness right now are riding the tail of a comet. That's what I understand. That was my awakening. So sometimes it's not that slow, easy route. Sometimes it's like, what do I do now? What do I do now? Yeah.
Yeah, and in Greece we say that now we're chewing the tail of a donkey because that's the hardest one to actually chew and swallow and digest. And that's why I think you doing the mentorship and me doing all the sessions and the healings that I do from long distance and everything that I work with my clients and personal retreats and stuff like that, we're ready. We're ready to really step to the next level and help others to what we need. So what they need actually.
And that's what has gotten us here is our journey. Everyone's journey is unique and particular, but along the way you gather many tools. And
Yes.
have a full bag of tools. What are you going to do with it if you don't offer to other people? Here, I understand your journey. I'm not doing it exactly as you, but I understand the pieces of it.
Yeah, and it was so nice to have you here in my house in the island. It was amazing, and for us to connect in such a beautiful way again, and starting with a new energy of doing our work. And because you're in France, I'm in Greece right now. Because I've been traveling a lot, I haven't sat still for a minute. So it's so important for us to really get that out there. So anyway, any last advice?
I maybe I'll just do a card at the end here.
Yes, yes, I love that. Absolutely.
Card, just because I don't know, just because.
But I
What am
tell
I?
you, her cards and her Akashic readings and the ruins readings, we did it every day here with coffee. So they're amazing.
Love this. This is the Knight of Swords. So
Mm,
this is Mars energy. It's really go forth, but this may be a little rash. So
mm.
if you feel that you're going forward quite rapidly, please make sure to take the time to sit and contemplate a bit. Don't be a rash knight. Go forward, but make sure you know the battle that you're choosing to fight.
And also this week in Vedic astrology, if I'm correct, Mars is changing signs. I'm not exactly sure where, but this has been the warning for this because look at the intensity of the world. Slow down because Mars has this boom energy and you want to go, 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 but actually tells you to slow down. So
Perfect.
it's
Perfect.
amazing. We're
Yeah.
we're doing it. So
Yeah.
thank you again for doing this, and I will put your website on the bottom of the. I'm gonna have my team take care of all that, and
Okay.
we'll see you in the next couple of weeks. Maybe when you feel up to it, let me know when you feel
Yeah.
like doing another one. Love
Thank
you. Love
you.
everyone.
Namaste.
Namaste.